Okay, this is Ken with West Coast Spider. I'm here with Dennis from Spider Talk and the Northern California chapter, and we're going to put his CB in today. So we've started already dismantling his bike. This is the fun part. This is the part I like to do. Got the mirror off, got the side panel off, got the lower panels off. You know, this is all good info here. So you get the panels off to this point. This is as far as we got, but what we did is we ran into, here again, you got the shorty screws. You've got one that goes underneath the seat and one that goes down here by the air vent. These are both short screws. On the other side, that panel fell right out. Now on the other side, what we ran into is the screen. The panel won't fall out. On the right hand side, we didn't have to remove the other connector for the fin. On this side, we're having to take this out to be able to get this piece off, because we couldn't pick it up and move it because it was attached underneath the fin, okay, so by the way that it was set up. So we're ready to pull this panel off, and then we're going to start looking at the top box and seeing what else we have to pull off. So far the dismantle is going pretty good, and we're going to kind of keep track of the time that it takes to do it, because somebody posted it took them 12 hours to strip the bike down, and we're not seeing that, but you know, who knows? Well, we're going to find out. Okay, we've taken the acoustical panel that was on right here, and now we're disconnecting the wire, the cable box locking cable, and we're getting ready to pull the glove box and disconnect it so that we can get up to the upper portion, which is where the switch will go. In between the two on the right and two on the left, on that center, we'll be installing a new switch. So right now we're working on getting the glove box taken off, and we'll keep you posted. Okay, so you get down to the glove box, and what you got to do is you're going to pull out the retaining shields and then a couple of screws, and to disassemble it, and then it's latched in here into the front into here, and you pull it to disconnect this way. And what that does is it actually gives us the ability to turn this now, so that we can now get to the bottom where this switch will go right here. Now we have access to that knockout, okay, which we didn't have before. But you're going to take and disassemble and pull this whole front out. It's a matter of six retaining and 4 screws. Give it a little upward motion and twist, and you got it out. Yeah, so far we've only been working on the front of the bike, and we haven't gotten to the back yet.
1 hour.
And we've got an hour and a half in it so far. Okay, well, excuse me, I'm being told 1 hour. Okay, and this one guy's reading the instruction, one guy's pulling panels. So you got 2 guys working on it where the other guy had 1, but I'm still not seeing 12 hours. So we're going to beat that 12-hour mark and set a new record for installing this for amateurs. Okay, so we've gone back and decided that we're going to disconnect the glove box cable as the instructions indicated, so that we could have better access to installing the plug correctly. The plug has a notch in it which has to go to the right, and we need to make sure that it goes to the right. And the way that we initially installed it, it went to the left. So we will be reinstalling it so that we can get that notch to the right side.
We make the mistakes so you don't have to.
Yeah, we make the mistakes, so you know, we don't have to.
Now we can see.
Now that we got this
Probably disconnected.
completely off the bike.
Okay, just look at what's going on. I want to see. They don't really see.
Okay, so once you remove the cable, the instructions are that the wiring harness should follow the existing wiring harness, which means you bring it in from the side, on the left side, and then bring it up, and that'll put your notch on the right hand side, so that when you go to put the piece in,
It helps to have fingernails to do this.
you'll now have that notch on the right side so that it plugs correctly. But the secret here is to come in from the left side of the panel and follow the existing wiring harness, because it's all going to tie together, and it will be easier piece of cake. If you try any other fashion, you're going to have issues. Okay, now that you've got the zip ties and you got the cable connected to the existing cable, if you follow it down, you're going to find that the connector that it goes into is already here. And so you'll actually be at the end of that wiring harness. You'll be able to plug the new cable that you just plugged in right into it. So there you go. That's the first part. That takes care of the driver's connector plug attached to the bike. And then you start to reassemble the cable, the glove box cable is what we're reassembling right now. Then we're going to be putting this piece back on the bike. Okay, so now we're going to take the seat off, and according to the instructions, you can get to the bolts in the back. So if on top there's a Cajun nut, and he's using a number 10 millimeter wrench. We couldn't make the socket work, get the right angle on it. We've already released one bolt. We're working on the second bolt. So it's up on top, outside, underneath the rear backrest, down on the seat. Okay, that's your hinge point. We take that off. We take the shock absorber off and the pillion plug connection for the passenger seat, and the seat should come right out. Okay, so what we've done now is, after we've gotten the seat off, we've taken the cover that hides up the battery box, got it undone, disconnected the wiring for the this would be for the heat, and then same thing on the other side. We disconnected the volume control and removed that panel. We're getting ready to remove the mounting bracket or panel for the cargo and the seat stuff, and we want to get to the ground strap retaining screw, because we're going to be attaching to that and disconnecting some more cargo harnesses. Okay, so we've got the front all done and all put back together now, and as you can see, the new wiring comes out for this. This is for the plug up on top where you would plug in, bring it down, comes in, and we connect right down here with this connector, and they give you a new piece to snap on into the hole to retain it. Okay, this had a protective cap on it with green doodad stuffed into it. That's technical talk, and it simply just plugs right in, okay, by following the harness down. So the front is basically all done and tied together, and additionally what we did is, we didn't like the way that the dealer installed the wiring cable for the CB, so we took and rerouted it, brought it back out. He had it coming out through here. We brought it back behind the headlight, brought it down to the frame, carried it along the tank, and then reattached it. And what we did is since we had this module out here, the glove box, we simply put a fish tape up into the cavity, brought it up, hooked it, and then pulled the whole thing back and through, so we never had to take the headlight off to redo it, and we were able to use without having to resolder or anything along that line. That took about a half hour to do, which we'll deduct from the time that we have into the CB. Okay.